want my old man back. You guys seeing that? We got like 2 feet of snow last night and the wind decided to blow it all directly at my house, so all of it just came and piled right up against the front. So when I opened the front door this morning, I'm 6'2", and I was literally up to my nutsack in snow this morning, so you can imagine how long it took me to shovel that out. So we're getting a bit of a late start today. But today we're kicking off day 1 of our brand project, which I'm super hyped to get started on. A little bit nervous, a little bit stressed with all the firsts and the deadline and all that, but either way, excited to see what happens. It's definitely always cool when I get to see things like come out of here and turn into real life stuff in front of my face. And as I said, I'm bringing you guys with me every step of the way, every day. So we got to get a whole bunch of prep work done well before any ink gets laid down. We got to get all of our artwork prepped and all of our color separations done, the underbase is choked, all that stuff. That's going to be a little bit of a lengthy process. We got to get all of our screens prepped and ready to go, which there's going to be a lot of them. I'm pretty sure there's like 12 or 13 for this job. Well, we'll talk a little bit more about that later. And we got to get all of our inks mixed and all that stuff out of the way. Today is definitely a good time to just knock all that out at once because we're still waiting on probably like 2/3 of the garments to get here. So it's good to have all this done and ready to go, so that way when everything's here, we can just start banging stuff out. The question is, which one do I start with? Mixing inks? Yeah, let's do that. That's always fun. There we go. And look at this. Look how clean it is afterwards. What a mystery how that happened. People keep asking me because my shop looks the way it does if all I do is clean or I just don't do any work in here. Neither of which are the case. You take like 30 seconds after you're done, clean up after yourself. It's not friggin' rocket science, people. And it'll be a cold day in hell before my shop ever becomes one of those ones that's got glue and ink covering every possible surface in the place. That's just ridiculous. And think about it, the 2 minutes you take cleaning up after yourself saves you a whole bunch of time down the road in fixing mistakes you made because the place was dirty or you couldn't find something. So I mean, come on. But those are ready to go. Really digging the way that red looks in real life. I can't wait to see that lay down on something. So I guess what's next is let's prep some screens, I guess, so that way while they're drying and doing their thing, we can do artwork separations and stuff. Be efficient with our time. So by my count, we're gonna need 11, possibly 12 screens for this thing. And I know that sounds like overkill and that I should be sharing multiple designs on the same screen like most people do, but fuck all that, man. That's why I got an 8-color press. That way I can have a bunch of these prints registered and ready to go all at the same time. Because there are so many prints on each garment, there's bound to be a few that some mistakes happen. So this way I can just go back and quickly run it off instead of flipping the screens around, re-registering everything, wasting a whole bunch of time. I think that's a stupid idea. In this case, it's much smarter just to do more screens and save that time in the end. And I might be short 1 screen, I'm not quite sure yet. It's for the neck labels though, it's not a big deal. We can go back and reclaim one if we need it. But the only reason I think I might be short one is because I'm gonna try something here. Not quite sure if it's gonna work or not yet, but I do have the dual sleeve platens for that press, so that maybe if it works out, I can print 2 neck labels at the same time, which would be awesome and a huge time saver. So if I'm able to do that, I'm not gonna be able to fit as many labels on that screen as I normally would, so I might need an extra one to lay that out properly. I'm not quite sure yet. We'll figure that part out. Anyways, we got 11 screens to degrease, so cue the montage. that was a lot of screens. So we gotta let those cure. Update on the drying cabinet if anyone wanted to know. We got the drying time on those things down to like 25 minutes or something like that, to where they're perfectly cured and nothing's sticking to them. It was pretty good. Last time where I left it at was like an hour. I've been doing some messing around since then and slowly dialing back the time and testing it, and it seems like 25 minutes is the sweet spot, so that's where we're at on that. Oh, my old man back. Time to get the separations going. So for just the main visual artwork that's gonna be seen, there's a total of 5 pieces that need to be separated. I think it's a total of 12 separations that need to be done. The sleeves are gonna be kind of tricky because, like I said, I've got those dual sleeve platen things, so figuring that whole situation out is going to be kind of difficult. And then of course I have to make the positive or 2 we haven't figured out yet for the neck labels. So I'm just gonna be real with you. I'm probably gonna rip through this stuff without saying anything because well, time is of the essence here. And since there are so many separations and so many underbase layers to set up, I kind of need to concentrate a little bit because there is visible white in every single one of these designs. So when we're setting up the choke on the underbase layers, I want to make sure that I'm only putting choke to the parts that are getting overprinted and not the visible white areas, because that would change the way they look. So it's going to be a little bit complicated. I ain't saying shit, but I know multiple people have commented in the last couple weeks asking me to explain how that all works in Illustrator and all that stuff. So comment down below. If enough people do it, maybe I'll make a video explaining that whole deal. I know there's plenty of them out there, but maybe we can do it different. All right, let's work. Let's go ahead and put the brakes on that right now because we just encountered a huge problem. Trying to hold my composure here. I'm so angry right now. And this is something that I'm partly to blame. I should have checked this ages ago, but you know, setting this all up and learning how to use it and everything that's been going on, it's something that slipped my mind and we haven't had time. So as I said, I got these dual sleeve platens. I had originally wanted the singles, and the salesman dude was like, no bro, get the duals, blah, 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 it's gonna be better, right? And I was like, all right, cool, I have no idea what I'm doing or talking about, so I'm gonna trust you. So I just put one on for the first time so I could set up the artwork and figure out, you know, the spacing between the two and get all that right. First thing I noticed when I loaded a sweater on here is that everything kind of bunches up on the end. You can't pass this area obviously, so when you put the screen down, I mean, it mashes everything together and you can't actually get to your print area. See, it's not as bad with the small because it's obviously a way shorter sleeve. It doesn't bunch up quite as bad over here, but with the XL, yeah, to be able to get this thing into a printable area, you gotta bunch up like half the hoodie over here onto the corner, and you'd never be able to print this thing because when you drop the screen down, it's bunched up so bad up top here, like we're at like an 1.5 inches off contact. Whereas with a normal single sleeve platen, you'd be able to pass like the whole sleeve over the whole thing and get it to the area where you need to print. So I mean, this design, it's ridiculous. But here's the real funny part. I just went and read the description on the website of this thing. It only works with 23 by 31 screens. These are 20 by 24 is what's meant for this setup. So this guy sold me something that doesn't even work with this. And I was honestly questioning that too when I opened the box and was looking at it, because it ran through my head and I was just like, they know what they're doing. I can trust this. Just always trust my own gut. Now the first solution that popped into my head was, let's just go ahead and order some 23 by 31 screens, and then that way we can print this and get it out of here. But that doesn't solve the issue of all the meat of this hoodie being bunched up in the end, so that when we pop the screen down, it's messing with our off contact. For the XLs, and I know 2XL is gonna be worse than 3XL, you have to bunch all this stuff up here on the end to get your printing surface lined up, because like this right here is that's where we need to be, and this is how much crap is hanging up on top here. It's a stupid idea. And I was so pumped about these too, thinking that I'm gonna be able to be more efficient and print 2 things at the same time, and like, oh yeah, this is the greatest idea ever. So I'm gonna have to do some serious problem solving here. I don't know if I can get something else and just attach this mount to it, or if I'm gonna make something from scratch, but I know I'm gonna try to call them tomorrow anyways, but I know I can't rely on them to get me what I need here in time. So we're gonna have to figure this out on our own. Like I said, it's something that I should have checked ages ago on my own, so I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna own that one either way. Fuck. But to try and spin this positively and end this video on a better note, there are a couple screen print supply places up here in Canada that have proven themselves much more reliable so far, so I'm gonna hit up every single one of those that I can until I find a freaking sleeve pallet in stock. We'll overnight that thing here, we'll remove the mount off that stupid thing, put it on the new one, and hopefully our problems are gonna be solved. So yeah, I guess that's gonna wrap it up for today. I was hoping we were gonna be printing tomorrow, but apparently now we're problem solving and then finishing the rest of the stuff that we had to do here today. So I'm gonna go yell, possibly kick a few things. We'll see you again tomorrow.